Hello, my name is Roland Kinley. I'm an integration consultant and I've been working with Nodinite for over 6 months now. Today we'll talk about Nodinite installation. So, Nodinite installation. On the documentation page for Nodinite, at docs.nodinite.com, you will find a comprehensive list of instructions and planning and prerequisites for the Nodinite installation. We'll have a look at a few of those pages today. So let's start with the overview. So as you can see here, we've got a couple of options, and depending on where and how you want to install, this document should give you enough information to get started. Today, if I'm demonstrating anything, I've taken usually the smallest footprint, so I've taken a single virtual machine with an SQL 2019 server installed. We have a couple of different installations that you can do. You've got the installation with a small footprint, so the proof of concepts, and then the enterprise grade installation. It's suggested best practice here. There is an install and update tool that will need to be installed. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, this is where you start out. Some good reading here, and it guides you through. So let's start with the planning. Today I'll be installing the current version that's been released, and that's 5.4.1.20. So part of the planning, we've got where to find latest information. We've got some prerequisites here that you can tick off with links. This is the structure of the Nodinite installation. Good overview. And you've got some questions about how best to install your environment. Some questions about planning and designing accounts, who's got access, data that you want to keep, infrastructure, who's going to update the Nodinite installation, backup strategy, who's going to own the installation. So I think there's some good questions here that you need to run through before you start installation. Today I'll guide you through a simple installation of Nodinite. As I said, using a single virtual machine. It includes SQL Server 2019. So, prerequisites. Let's run through the prerequisites step by step. I'm going to install using the simple setup with the update service installed on the same server. So there's some software requirements here. I already have Windows 2019 installed on my virtual machine. I have installed this latest package of the DAC framework. I already have SQL Server Management Studio.
And it's recommended to have .NET Framework 4.62 or later.
So let's move on to the IIS default website stage. So for the install IIS, let's have a look. Add roles and features. Installation type, server selection. Let's have a look, server roles. So let's check our web server. So under the web server, IIS, we have a few features. So let's check that we have the correct features installed. Under the common features, we need the HTTP redirection checked. It's installed already. Static content. Already checked. And then under performance features, we have static content and dynamic content, security features. Again, we have basic and Windows, the page down Windows, application development. We have the correct .NET features installed. We already have the IIS Management Console installed. So yeah, all those are correct and checked. Move on. Let's check here. Installed WS services. So we need them all checked. Yep, all correct. Okay, and then because they're all installed, I don't need to do the install, so we'll just cancel out of that. So next, the Microsoft Distributed Transaction Coordinator, and here's a page here, learn how to configure the Microsoft Distributed Transaction Coordinator. So how do I configure the service? config. So in the console tree, we expand component services, my computer, click to expand distributed. Yeah. Local, right click for properties, security tab, network DTs. So we need to check the network DTC access, allow remote clients, allow inbound and outbound. Do we have here some actual name, but authentication. Click apply. It's asking for a restart, so we'll confirm that. Okay, very good. So we have configured DTC, and in the documentation there is further checks on the TCP port range, and at the bottom of the document we also have some frequency list questions if there's any firewall issues.
Windows rights does the install and update tool require? So let's have a look. The Nodinite install and update tool needs to have some access rights for the user. It needs to be a local administrator. If not, you need to add it to the IIS_I users group. Further to that, the update service also needs it to be a local admin. We need to assign the login as a service right to that local admin account. So let's start by creating an admin account. So let's add user, new user. Let's give it a service name, service account, system account. Just give it a description so people know what this account is for. Let's give it password. Okay, got that. So the password is this. Let it expire. Let's create that account. We now have our local service account. Let's add it as an administrator, local administrator. Not sys. Apply. So it's now a local administrator. Back to the instructions. Also needs to have the policy login as a service right. So let's do that. So it's a local security policy. I've drilled down to local policies, user rights assignment. I found the policy login as a service. Let's have a look at that. We need to add our account. Spell it correctly. Nope. Be there we go. Okay, so our Nodesys account now can log on as a service. Make sure to add the account running at the update service as a registered user with it. So this is something to remember later. When the web client is installed, you need to add the Nodesys account as a user, a registered user. So we will go through that later once we've installed the core tool. What SQL rights does the install and update tool require? Now we have a Nodesys account, a service account. We need to check if that account has the correct rights in the SQL server. So let's open up the management tool. So let's open up the SQL instance. And the security tab. Let's have a look at the logins here. Let's check my current user. See what server else. So I'm already set up as sysadmin. And I'm public. That's good. So we need to add a nodsys here so it has the appropriate authority. So have a new login. Search for it. It's nodsys. Okay, good. Windows authentication. And we need to give it certain roles. So in the documentation, just double check. Public DB creator, disk admin, security admin, and public. Let's go back and do that. So DB creator, disk admin, public, and security admin. Let's also add some user mapping to the master database. Access. So for nodsys, we need some user mappings. Let's have a look at those. Master, model, temp DB. We need database reader, DB owner. For all three. Let's do that. Okay. So for nodsys to perform the installation, we need to grant nodsys a couple of other permissions. One is alter any link server, and one is alter any login. So let's okay that. Let's confirm that has occurred. Okay, it now has the permissions, and we will come back to this after the installation of the configuration, the login databases, to also give nodsys the required access.
At the moment, we will leave it there and move on to the actual installation